A+ലേക്കുള്ള വഴി ഇനി തനിയെ തുറക്കാം. Subscribe to the ENCLAPS channel. Ring the bell button and open success. It's that easy.
Let's discuss about wind belts. We know that there is a difference in pressure over different latitudinal zones. And this pressure difference is the major reason behind the wind formation. So these winds developed between global pressure belts are called planetary winds. These planetary winds are of three types: trade winds, westerlies and polar easterlies. First, we'll talk about trade winds. Trade winds are prevailing winds, which means winds blow continuously from one direction to the other. So these trade winds blow continuously from the subtropical high pressure belt to equatorial low pressure belt. In the northern hemisphere, trade winds blow from northeast, and that's why they are called northeast trade winds in the northern hemisphere. Similarly, in the southern hemisphere, they blow from southeast direction and are called southeast trade winds. See this low pressure zone near equator? This equatorial low pressure zone where the trade winds from both the hemispheres converge is known as the intertropical convergence zone. Next is about westerlies. Westerlies are winds blow continuously from the subtropical high pressure belt to subpolar low pressure belt. They are called westerlies because the direction of these winds is mostly from the west. Due to the vast expanse of oceans in the southern hemisphere, these westerlies are stronger in the southern hemisphere than in the northern hemisphere. Another interesting fact about westerlies is that they are known by different names in different latitudes. They are called roaring 40s along 40-degree latitudes, furious 50s along 50-degree latitudes, and shrieking 60s along 60-degree latitudes. Cold polar regions are centers of high pressure, right? Polar winds are cold winds that blow from polar high pressure belt towards the subpolar low pressure belts. Due to Coriolis force, these winds blow from east in both the hemispheres, and that's why they are called polar easterlies. These polar easterlies are very important in determining the climate of North America, Russia, and other European countries. So that's all about permanent winds or planetary winds blowing between pressure belts throughout the year. But there are also winds that occur seasonally and locally. Now we are going to discuss about periodic winds. Periodic winds are winds that repeat at regular intervals of time and can be seasonal or diurnal. Monsoon winds are the best example for seasonal winds. Now tell me, what is monsoon? This word monsoon must be very familiar to you as we are all living in a monsoon climatic region. The term monsoon is derived from an Arabic word called mausim, which means winds that change direction according with season. So monsoon is basically the seasonal reversal of wind in a year. The apparent movement of the sun, Coriolis force, and difference in heating of land and water are some of the factors that are responsible for the formation of monsoon winds. Now let's talk about monsoons of India in detail. We have already discussed about intertropical convergence zone while talking about trade winds, right? So this ITC is it where the northeast trade winds and southeast trade winds converge in a low pressure zone, moves to the north of the equator and establishes itself over the Indian subcontinent during the month of July. The southeast trade winds, after crossing the equator, are deflected to the right by Coriolis force, forming the southwest monsoons. This southwest monsoon pick up the moisture while traveling from sea to land, and it causes rainfall once they hit the highlands of the Indian peninsula. This results in the southwest monsoon. The weather condition all over the country change with the onset of the monsoon winds. The season will be characterized by high heat, high humidity, and extensive rainfall with strong surface winds. So almost 75% of India's annual rainfall is received from the southwest monsoon. Then during the month of October, the monsoon wind pattern rapidly changes from the southwesterly direction to northeasterly direction. That is from land to sea. This is called the winter monsoon or northeast monsoon. The rainfall associated with the northeast monsoon is important for Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu records about 48% of its annual rainfall during northeast monsoon season. So that was all about planetary winds and monsoons. See you later.
3 ലക്ഷത്തിലേറെ വരുന്ന ചോദ്യോത്തരങ്ങൾ ഏറ്റവും കുറഞ്ഞ ചിലവിൽ സ്വന്തമാക്കുവാൻ ഉടൻ തന്നെ ഡൗൺലോഡ് ചെയ്യൂ എൻക്ലാപ്സ് ദ ലേണിംഗ് ആപ്പ്.